Friday afternoon, Gold Cup day, but don't worry about that yet. The curtain raiser on Friday is the Triumph Hurdle, and a race that someone on this panel must be thinking about quite a lot and getting quite excited about, because you're in a rather envious position. Quick show of betting and we'll come straight to you, but Vauban is actually the 15-8 favourite with us. You can explain why in a minute. 9-4 Pied Piper, 6 Porticello, 13-2 Fil Dor, 12 King Salute, 14 Dr. Parnassus. Some really good horses in here, but you've got a real strong hand in here. You've got 2 horses for the governor. You've got Pied Piper and Fil Dor. Both go with terrific chances, but I would have thought weather will play a big factor on decisions and who goes where and who rides what at this stage. Is that correct?
Yeah, it seems, well, it is. Fil Dor is a staying horse. 2 miles is the minimum. It's stretching him the 2 miles because he just stays really, really well. But then again, you factor in this track is a staying track, and over the years it takes a stayer to win a Triumph Hurdle, whereas Pied Piper then has the added advantage of he's beaten the favourite already and he's been to Cheltenham, so it's a huge plus, and he travels well and he was very impressive when he went to Cheltenham, so there's pluses to take from both sides, so really looking forward to it.
Tell us about the day at Cheltenham with Pied Piper, because that was one of those days for people on WhatsApp groups when phones started going crazy, because that was impressive, like seriously impressive. You had stood in the stand that day like we were like, wow, that's a proper horse. And we talk about overreactions in the betting, but people were scrambling around to short that on the board that day. Did it surprise you at all?
Oh no, we liked him and we knew he'd done something special in Punchestown, because he wasn't, again, as Gordon is trying to find his feet with these horses. They're very young horses, and he hadn't them fully wound up going to Punchestown. We wouldn't have been disappointed if we finished second behind Willie's horse, but he was good enough to beat him, and we felt that there was improvement under the hood. But then again, with these horses, you just don't know how much improvement is there, because they've had a career already on the flat. Him not so much. He wasn't overly raced.
Well, that's what I said. What from a sort of a layman or just your average racing fan, and you look at a horse that's run 10, 12 times for John Gosden, who's about the best there is, and not pulled up trees necessarily, and then comes out and just bolts up twice over hurdles. What is it about a hurdle that can suddenly bring around such an change or an improvement in a horse?
Oh, well, it could be time too. You must...
the growing?
Yes, and the maturing, because he's not small. So he was in as a 2-year-old and he was in as a 3-year-old, and his body just mightn't have been able to I'm sure he probably showed plenty of ability at home, but just probably he wasn't able to catch up with the rest of the other horses that would probably have been more mature on the flat for him. And also he had a certain thing of a pair of crown jewels that were also removed as well. So
they are a distraction at times, aren't they?
They can be a distraction at times. So and then, horses can go either way. Horses can disimprove, horses can improve. It's just, but, Gordon has a uncanny way of getting them to go the improvement way. So he went to a good home, obviously, and took very well to jumping. So, all of them are pluses, and they're the reasons why that they can make the step up. But, I don't think he reverting back to the flat, he might just run off a similar mark, you know what I mean? That just might be him on the flat, but when he gets a jump, he's quite quick to jump, and it enthuses him to jump as well.
So a nice decision to be made.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be made till near the time. We'll wait for the weather and listen. Wish you the best of luck, because it's an exciting race for you.
Yeah, it's a very exciting race, and there's loads of depth to it now. It's not just as easy as picking one and you'll ride the winner. It's not easy. Like Vauban is, very impressive in Leopardstown, and there's a couple of English horses there are unbeaten and very impressive. Gary Moore's horse and Milton Harris's horse, and there's a skeleton horse. There's loads of horses there that could be a little bit better.
Everyone will be going there thinking, I've got a chance of having a good one here.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Triumph Hurdle,
It has got depth, hasn't it?
It has got depth, and I think it's got more depth than the market suggests it's got. I think there's a belief that the Irish juveniles are miles ahead because of what Pied Piper
Because
did.
of the Pied Piper
Because what
performance.
Pied Piper did at Cheltenham, and you've got to look at that piece of form, and actually Morica Devassi and Isio were second and fourth in that race, respectively, and they were both well beaten in the Dovecote. So they didn't do much to uphold the form. That's not saying that Pied Piper wasn't devastatingly impressive, because you can only beat what's in front of you, but it might not have been a brilliant race, which is just in the back of your mind. I thought the Vauban Pied Piper race, Vauban Fil Dor race in the Dublin Race Festival was really good. And Vauban, with his tongue tied down for the first time, took a huge step forward from his debut run. When Willie Mullins came out with comments saying, I didn't want to go down this 4-year-old route, I had better plans for him, that's his way of saying this could have been a champion hurdle horse. And he holds him obviously in serious high order. And I think Vauban, wherever Vauban finishes, you can be doing well to get past him. But Dave makes the point that some of the English contenders, the Knight Salute and Porticello, and Dr. Parnassus, they're tough horses, and they stay and they jump, and it's a fascinating race. Often the Triumph isn't as mouth-watering as this. This is a really good race because you can make a case out for loads and loads of them, and I'd just be interested. We're too far out to know whether we're going to get a soft ground festival or not, but if the rain comes, every drop of rain, I'd be very keen on Fil Dor in this, because I think the hill will be perfect for him if it comes, because he's all about stamina, but it promises to be a great race.
We laid much. It's not normally a crazy race, ante-post this for us. You always think it will be, because things come out having not run before, they've run on the flat and they put in massive performances. But they shorten shows dramatically so quick, you can often sort of duck them, can't you?
We laid a fair amount of Fil Dor early on when he was the favourite for this race. He was around 2-1, but we'd laid 6 and then we'd laid 5, then went into 2-1 after being impressive earlier on in the season in the early races. Now he's all the way back out to 13-2. We're actually top price Fil Dor. There could be a chance that Fil Dor could potentially go the Boodles route, purely because he's rated 141 over in Ireland. Pied Piper's rated 144, so that rules Pied Piper out, so Pied Piper will be coming here. But if Fil Dor was to get a lenient view from the UK handicapper, there could be a chance that he gets rerouted to the Boodles. Obviously, we're ante-post rules apply, hence why with 13-2 we are a bigger price if you wanted to take that chance. But he did end up going to the Triumph here. We laid Porticello earlier on in the season. That was when he was winning in kind of poor ground. He was a much bigger price. We're quite a big price about Icar Alen at 20-1. He won at the weekend. Just think his jumping's a little bit novice. I think he'll struggle, even though he's got an engine. I think the one for me has to be Vauban. I was really impressed in the first day. Just a question for Davy. What did you think of Vauban when you rode against him on Pied Piper? Because Vauban obviously missed the last and had to come round you and was getting to you coming to the line. What were your thoughts?
It's very difficult to know, because I don't know how fit he was. Obviously he improved hand over fist, and so did my horse. So they're on a par. I'd say there's only a kick between them. There's not much between them. And whether Vauban will go again after his last win, and my lad will go again. You can guess these things, and they feel a bit better at home, but you're hopeful that that each run can improve them to separate them from the field, but they look to be very tightly matched.
Yeah, well, if that is the case, then this is going to be a proper race, I think. It's a proper Triumph Hurdle this year, so it's certainly one to look forward to. I would just shade Vauban just on that first run, but like I say, when you're taking in fitness on the day and it was their first runs of the season and all that type of stuff, it's hard to gauge, but I just thought Vauban looked classy last time out. It'd be the one for me.
Vauban.
Saying quietly so I can't hear, but Vauban would be.
Or whichever one is.
There we go. We'll wrap it up there. That's a Triumph Hurdle.